Arbitrage, and we have a fantastic show for you guys today. You got some content cousins who are with us, and we're going to talk to them in just a moment. We are late. We do want to apologize for that as the notification went out for 7, and I know it's way past 7. It's almost 7:20. So we're going to wait for a few cousins to pile in the room. In the meantime, Simon is going to give y'all the reminders that you live for.
Oh, the same old, same old. Stay stacking, stay stacking, stay stacking. Satoshis, stacking your ounces, and what other endeavors you may be invested in.
Mhm.
Just stay stacking, stay diligent, have discipline, right?
Yes.
And, in this thing, and definitely stay stacking. I love to stay stacking.
In addition to that, silver's doing pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, they so in the middle of the week, and I don't have the chart for you today. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't a chart day, but in the middle of the week, the silver was rating around $32 and some change, and then they try to slam it down. Got down about $30.15, but it came back to where it was supposed to be. So all that was a good opportunity to buy. Also, it was a good opportunity right there at that high market 32 to take some interest, some profits if you felt necessary. And you got to stay on top of silver because of the cartel who will try to control silver. Well,
Not the
not
Mexican
yeah,
cartel. I know what y'all are
yeah.
thinking.
Those guys, man.
Banking
Those guys. I
cartel.
had a story. I'm not even gonna go into that story till another day. But they've been hit with another fine, J.P. Morgan Chase, that
Mhm.
they had to pay out. All these fines. We go back over the fines. It's a laundry list of fines. Yet nobody goes to prison.
Hmm.
How about that? Getting hit with straight RICO charges and nobody went to prison.
They just pay their luxury tax and
Hey,
go, right? Like in Monopoly, you remember that?
yeah, just pay that. Let me get hit with
Much.
RICO charge. I'm sitting down for 10 right now. So
You got them football
yeah,
years,
yeah. So
the football
so
numbers.
J.P. Morgan Chase is out there acting funny. So for all my people who have J.P. Morgan Chase, just be careful. We have J.P. Morgan
We
Chase. It's
have
almost like you have to have one of these four banks,
the
but
tier one.
yeah. So we got that and Wells Fargo. We deal with it, but yeah, J.P. Morgan Chase is out here got hit with another $100 million fine, which is nothing to them. They just pay that like it's $10, and they keep on doing the illegal things that they are doing.
But you have to consider the amount of profit that they're making. That $100 million fine to them is the cost of doing business.
Hmm.
We have about 11 cousins in the room. We're going to wait to see if we can get at least 9 more cousins in the room before we introduce the squad,
Let's see.
right?
Let's see.
Doing big things there in Brooklyn, right? Just a bit of background for those who are in the room. Hello, Let Freedom Ring.
Let freedom ring.
Let Freedom
What's
Ring.
up?
Your cousin BK Crypto is here. It's Dylan, Rashona, Kimberly, and Sel, and they are going to be talking to us about the physical work that they have been doing in crypto and in finance
Mhm.
and in many other areas of the life portfolio that we talk about that is so important, right? It's not just about the money. He said YouTube sucks. Hey, cousin Shango. All right, cousin Shango, we got Rashona on for you today.
Shank.
She's looking for her husband. So that's Shango Rashona. I'm gonna tease them all show. So she's here for you all in her zen if you're ready for her. But we live in a real virtual world, cousins, and we think that it's so uber important to remember that physical social
Mhm.
connection. And the BK Crypto Squad is absolutely killing it in that arena in a city, New York City, that is considered to be like, cold and unwelcoming.
Yeah.
You can see the warmth and the compassion, the empathy, the understanding, the knowledge, the wisdom that is going and feeding the souls that live in New York that are looking for that connection, for that community. Um, all right, he's back. Okay,
Okay.
cousin Shango's back.
Cool.
13. I think we can kind
Yeah.
of get
Let's go.
started. We got
Let's go.
about
I don't
13
want to waste too
cousins in
much
the room.
time.
They'll pile in, and people have hard stops here shortly. So first and foremost, I would like for the squad to introduce themselves. Rashona, I would like to start with you, and then Kimberly, and then Dylan, and then Sal. Oh no, we lost your audio.
Nope, I'm here. Greetings, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with the family. We've watched you tremendously, and thank you for just being present and changing, the world around you. So I'm Rashona Bennett. I like to say I'm in it to win it. And yes, I am part of the collective, the BK Crypto family. And within that passion, I really was really highly invested in just fascinated by money, but fascinated about how it works because it was really for me as the only child, it was really about how do I expand legacy. And if you look at my bio and LinkedIn, I kind of spiritually forced into real estate at 23, right? I had to sell my grandmother's house in California. And of course, I'm not going to say no. And then moving forward, when I achieved that goal at 23, at 26, I was also told by my father's from Trinidad that I had to help my grandmother, paternal grandmother's house to save it from being bankrupt. You understand? So it was like I was divinely poured into financing and investing. And so again, being 26, again, about family, about legacy, about community, I was like, I'm jumping in. And so that just got me really interested into investing, financing, and just seeing what's happening next. And in 2017, again, watching Million Dollar Listing, it was, talked about Bitcoin buying a house for 18 million. And that was like, what? Bitcoin 18 million? But even before that, I really started praying to ask God to really guide me to something new. It's going to just kind of like not only advance my knowledge, my wisdom in the financial sector, but also my community. And I literally, when I tell you prayer is real, when I walked out my house, a good friend of mine, James, was like, Rashona, I need you to jump in this call. I jumped in this call and it was literally about Bitcoin, Ethereum,
Hmm.
Litecoin. And I jumped in. And when you talk about the history of how we connected BK Crypto, we are all literally divinely connected. So 2017 jumped in. We pretty much got into BK Crypto. I connected with Kim from past history of dancing with Patra, and she was in the musical industry. Angela and I used to go together, connect with each other in school. We literally went to Brooklyn Tech. And Dylan and I, again, used to work together in H&M. So when I tell you things are divinely lining up, that is who we are. That is who I am. And so on the sideline, I'm a financial soul healer and financial counselor by day. So we're passionate about this. This is in my DNA.
We love it. We love it
Yeah.
so much.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
so much
Yeah.
for your
Thank you.
service,
Thank you.
Rashona. Kimberly.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, I am Kimberly, otherwise known as Black Crypto Chick on Twitter and everywhere else. And yeah, as Rashona said, I came from the music industry, Sony Music for many years. And we had, met with recording artists performing. And anywho, funny enough, I had been like loosely introduced to Bitcoin around 2009, 2010, but I thought it was a penny stock and I didn't go any further. And I said, I'm not going to be bothered with that. And so, but years later, it was 2017, just like Rajona, when I said, this is really coming up in the news a lot. Let me try to understand it better and see exactly what is going on here. And as I started going down that rabbit hole, it took me about 3 months of constantly researching Bitcoin, not barely sleeping or doing anything else, just trying to understand this. And I finally got to the point after 3 months where I felt comfortable investing a little. My first coin was Litecoin, as a matter of fact. Which, yeah, exactly. It's funny. I still have that little bit of Litecoin because I'm just like, oh, it's my first coin. Let me not get rid of it. Anywho, but it was really organic. It was a friend who actually is in my living room right now who had gone to the bookstore, I believe, and she overheard Rashona having a conversation with somebody else, and then like something came up in that conversation. She said, Kim needs to know about this. So it was my friend Cynthia who said, Kim, this girl, they're having a meeting, they were just formulating BK Crypto. They're having a meeting. You should go to this meeting. I said, sure, because nobody in my family was willing to even discuss cryptocurrencies. So I said, okay, I got to find my own tribe. Let me go and see who's at this meeting. Lo and behold, this was a young lady who I had known before. And because she heard my last name, she said, wait a minute, did you work with Patra? And I was like, I was like, okay, this person clearly knows me. It was the funniest thing because it's so random because I didn't really talk about my work. Anywho, fast forward, we we dove deeply and created BK Crypto with the intent to educate as many Black and brown people as possible about cryptocurrencies, because just like my experience was, nobody wants to listen because they're listening to the mainstream media while the banks are positioning themselves to be at the forefront ahead of everybody. But we realize that this is our opportunity to become to get into something before the bankers have gotten in. So that's why we, formulated BK Crypto, so that we can have a community to talk to people and also educate people as much as possible.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Love that story.
Yeah.
Cousin Shangle say he hears you, Miss Kimberly. He has a few old coins himself from his rambunctious youth in digital assets. He's gonna sell them for Bitcoin. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dylan
Mhm.
is having a bit of technical trouble,
No
so
worries. No
he'll
worries.
be on shortly. So, out
What's
in
up?
Bana.
How's it going, guys? How's it going, guys? So, out of the crew, I am the only one that is not based in New York City. Obviously, grew up in New York City, went to Brooklyn Tech, um, made my way down the I-95. I live in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia area. Um, my background is in technology. Uh, I was a IT security specialist for about 14 years. We actually moved to Atlanta back in, that was 2000, 2008, 2007. Sorry. So that's how we were down there for about 5 years. My wife had to finish up her residency program, which is why we moved down there. As soon as we were done, we were like, all right, pack up, head back up top. And actually, that's when I actually started working from home at the CDC back in 2012. So when working from home became the fashion in COVID, I told everybody, you're not going to want to go back, And for me, my journey with crypto, it started in 2017, the 2017 bull run. Pretty much a cousin of mine, kind of he opened my eyes up to it. But at first, I was like, yeah, 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 whatever. I was just I was into stocks. I was into commodities, things like that. So when he opened my eyes, it took me about 3-4 months of doing actual research because I'm just anal like that. I was just like him. I can't hop into anything if I don't understand it. So I jumped into it around October of 2017. Got introduced to this program by Boyce Watkins called the Digital Underground. And funny enough, to this day, you see so many, branch offs from the Digital Underground. Lamar Wilson, obviously, I think Zay was in there as well. There was a couple other people that was part of the original Digital Underground. I believe Dylan was in there as well. Um, Rashona reached out to me, and funny enough, I didn't really know Rashona in high school. It was just the fact that she saw me posting, and since 2017, since I started, I've dedicated all my platforms to just crypto, posting about crypto. People hate it, but hey, I don't care. I put the information out there. But meeting up with these guys, it was definitely in the cards. It was definitely the universe aligning correctly, because it's given me such a clear picture of where I want to go and what I want to do. I actually retired from my contract, my government contracting job at the CDC in 2021, and been following, our dreams since then, trying to make this full time, trying to get into the community, trying to, teach about crypto, trying to educate as much people as we can. I guess you, in a way, we're evangelists, Bitcoin evangelists, crypto evangelists. So, why not? So, and that's how I ended up here, at least. So,
Right. No doubt. No doubt.
Love it. We love
So,
it. And cousins, this is BK Crypto. Boom. Guess who
Boom.
stepped
Hey,
in the
Dylan,
room?
it's Farouk. Yes,
Yeah.
how you doing? My name is Dylan Dasheville. I started doing this a crypto in probably 2017. I had an accident actually, right? And I was home and I was watching this guy called Ian Bellina, and then talk about crypto. And all of a sudden, I went. Now I was always into like technology, right? So I heard about Bitcoin years ago, right? But it was more for like the gamers that were doing it, right? So for some reason, he started talking about Bitcoin, and then someone started to click. The wheels kept turning about money and digital currency and how it was moving. Now, I already noticed that like people would stop using like cash for a while, right? It was getting slower and slower. So I just went in the rabbit hole, right? I went down the rabbit hole and I went crazy. Literally, I was studying crypto like every day, 10 hours a day. Um, I was telling everyone about it. I told everyone about crypto, my homeboys, my friends, everyone about it. Um, some listened, some didn't listen. But again, I felt it was something that was so big that you couldn't not tell someone about it. It was just you just could not tell, especially like our people, right? So actually, I started to work at this grocery shop. I had to find a job quickly at the time, right? So I during the pandemic, right? So I started the job on October of 2019, and COVID hit in 2020. So when it happened, I went crazy again. I started buying crypto with every paycheck I had. I would put half my paycheck, sometimes a quarter, but I was going in every single paycheck. And through the entire pandemic, I was buying crypto um, without stimulus check, without my tax returns, everything I kept putting it into crypto. I didn't care about nothing else but crypto. And then after probably by 2021, November, I'm walking to work, right? So I look at my portfolio, my blockfolio, or whatever, right? So you know what? I'm out. And then I left them the actual job and I focus on now. So now we actually focus on actually doing what we were already doing, right? But as a group now, because we're all telling folks about crypto and everywhere. It never stops. Every day, on the train, in a restaurant, folks buy Bitcoin. So, so after doing that, it's like it just seemed that it was something that's so easy for us to actually do naturally. Myself, Kimberly, and self. So we're like, why not do it as a group? And that's how everything just got started. You know, that's it. And again, the rest is actually history for now. So,
okay.
Now,
All
funny
right.
story, Dylan, 'cause
well,
your brother over here during the
tell me.
already, we were doing the Bitcoin and stuff, but we were already on precious metals and stuff, 2013,
Right, right,
2014.
That's
But when the
yeah.
pandemic hit, he said, "You know how you always talking about the kingdom of heaven is at hand?" I'm like, "Yeah."
right.
He said, "We get some silver with us up there." So he just started going crazy with buying the silver. Every time we got like extra money,
Right.
at the time he was working the contracts, I used to get these little bonuses. He take that whole bonus and we buying silver with this.
Yeah, you know.
Yes. It made sense. It just made sense to me, right? Everyone was
Yeah, yeah.
buying spending their money, doing other stuff. Why not put it in like crypto or some assets, you know?
Yeah, yeah, because we had a good position in Bitcoin, so we were trying to just have a little diversification. But yeah, but still getting the Bitcoin, weekly, if not daily, depending on funds, depending on if the family, if the kids want to eat that day, or I could get some Bitcoin.
Look,
So sometimes
y'all
choices of
eat
trade off,
less.
but as the
Yep.
kids,
I
yeah, but the
Hilarious.
kids they with me, they learn about it with me, and they. Um,
Tell me about Sean.
Sean is
Yesterday, the conversation y'all had, what, 2 days ago? Monday?
oh yeah,
When he
well
was kind of listening on the show?
yeah. Sean is he was ear hustling, so he got some information off of that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. grab. You can grab a little something, grab it. But Sean is a
But I'm
very intelligent man.
but I'm
So
saying, Simon, let me ask you, wasn't it to me? It wasn't the like the pandemic the perfect time to buy because everyone was closed. You didn't have to spend any much money, so it seemed the perfect time to just dive into crypto.
yeah, it's just everybody was. It seemed like everybody was very fearful because of the sharp drop, and they didn't know
Right.
when we buy, when we should buy, and so it just you
Whatever
got to
here.
have
But
that low time
I
preference.
think too, baby, is that during the pandemic, the typical things people spend their disposable funds on,
Yeah, it
they
was housing.
couldn't,
Yes.
they couldn't do, right?
Yes.
You
That's
have the
what it
option.
was.
You weren't going out to eat. You weren't going to the movies.
Hmm.
Sports had stopped because y'all would not believe how much money we spend paying the refs. Like the refs need to come clean this house with the amount of money we pay them.
And and had they had a thing on Twitter the other day. I think when Bitcoin hit about 71,000 or something like that,
Mhm.
they say if you would have took that $1,200 stimulus and put it in
Yeah,
Yes,
Bitcoin, it'd be 12,000 over
I
$12,000.
saw it.
So
Wow.
Exactly.
I heard that.
that's no time
I,
preference right
Yes,
there.
it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we talk
I,
about that all the time.
you know what? I think also prior to the pandemic, I think what we also saw was a huge shift once Trump was elected. Um, Remember, his first term was the highest creation of black businesses in the United States. And I
Yes, it
think
was.
people woke up and was like, "Oh boy, we on our own. We got to do it on our own. We got to do it ourselves." So I
Mhm.
think that contributed also to that first bull run. Where that interest peaked at that point, and people were looking for other things to get into
Yes.
pre-pandemic. I think it was kind of a wake up call for Black America in a
Hmm.
way, and again, it that was the highest amount of Black businesses ever created in this history during that
But you
time.
also
So
got a great demonstration of where there was no bread and circus.
yeah,
People got productive as hell.
exactly,
With
exactly.
money, with your minds, with now I
Fine,
wouldn't say
right.
with their bodies because they
Man,
said a lot of people gained a lot of weight, right?
the cats been
But
out.
Hmm.
they were significantly more productive, and it just adds to when you start telling people about distractions. Like these things are here to distract you. You have to get focused.
Hmm.
This month, our theme is he Dr. Neri Muhammad?
Um, yes,
He's
yes,
Dr. Neri Muhammad
yes,
from the Nation of Islam. Love him, love him, love him. If you're
Yes.
watching this, Dr. I would love to have you on our show. But he really talks about like mental mathematics. That's the book. I just got it, so I'm gonna start to read it. But that was a great like laboratory experiment in a sense on how productive we could be when we are
Yeah.
not distracted with all of the extras, when that money is not being sucked out of our economy, right? When I say
Yeah.
our economy, I mean the Black people's economy,
Mhm.
right? There was no restaurants, there was no amusement.
Movie theaters.
Well, that would be amusement, entertainment. Um, there was probably a lot of Amazon shopping, though, right? Which
Oh
probably
yeah.
could have
Oh,
got curtailed if the average person had the adoption like we had hoped for. I had hoped that during the pandemic, mass adoption would have like skyrocketed and it didn't perform the way I had hoped. We're still talking to people about what is Bitcoin, right?
right.
In
Yeah, right.
2024.
So,
So
Mhm.
yeah, and as far as Bitcoin in 2024, we talk about mass adoption. You mean people like you and me?
I mean, I was hoping that the everyday Joe Bag of Donuts, as Stacy would say, would have woken up and said, we need to stop fooling around and start getting serious and researching on what this Bitcoin is.
So let me ask you guys, since you're boots on the ground, how do you see adoption on an everyday basis? Since you deal with the people in the community and they come to you, how have you seen it? Have you seen a shift, or is it still like kind of like just
I find it's a slow growth. I feel more and more people. Interestingly enough, and granted, our members run the gamut between like 21-year-olds to 70-something-year-olds, and I'd say that for me, more of that older set of individuals
Mhm.
are getting involved in cryptocurrencies. They're actively trying to understand it. Would you agree, guys?
I would agree
That
with
whole
that.
Yeah, yeah. I
population
would agree
being
with. I would
Yeah,
agree with that.
definitely. The
Go ahead.
demographics. I mean, also too, we're part of a lot of women groups and large groups that are affiliated with women who, are baby boomers. When you look at the stats of the baby boomers, about $14.6 billion baby boomers' money will be going to the GDP, right? So when you understand that, they're like, okay, so then where should my money go? So they're more excited to learn about it to sustain legacy. That's what we're seeing. And so even though they might be 50 to 68, even 75. We have clients that are 75. They're literally taking time to learn about crypto, how to allocate their retirement funds, their social security, their pensions, they have it, their 401ks, 403bs, and they're transferring a percentage of it into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, in some of the top 10 coins, and learning how to do DEXs and learning how to do the Coinbase, the basic um, um, I've got lost. Basic Coinbase and Gemini, but they're also learning how to navigate between DeFi, decentralized financing. So they're really now saying, "Let me learn this," and it's fascinating to see it. It's motivating for us.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think
What I would say this, right?
go ahead, Dylan.
Well, I would say this is that uh, like Kim said, right, it's a slow grind, and because the main reason about crypto is that it has a learning curve, right? That it's kind of steep learning curve. So I think people are trying to get to slowly, but because of the narrative on TV and stuff, it has a lot of people thinking of it very in like a negative tone. But I think that's about to shift this year. This year is going to shift. But but it was for like the past couple of years. It was a slow grind. And what I noticed is that people normally get interested in Bitcoin whenever it starts going up, like obvious. So when it starts going up now, people want to jump in. So it's a slow grind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
nobody wanted to jump in that when it went down to 15,000, but everybody's ready to jump in now. So yeah, kind of thing. But I also think part of it too, where you do see some young folks, millennials, Gen Z, getting involved, um, because we got to be real. It's the American dream is dead. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of these kids can't afford coming out of college, and even after, they can't afford a home because home prices have skyrocketed. You know, they really can't, don't really want the 401k because they understand, you know, part of that, it's a whole bunch of money being given away to these top organizations like Fidelity, these asset managers, etc. So that whole white picket fence and the dog and the yard and the home, that those days are gone. And so for them, that's why they're attracted to the GameStops of the world, the AMCs of the world, the
The Wall Street
memes.
bets.
Yes, the
Yes.
that's the memes in the crypto space, right? They've got a longer time horizon. So they feel like, look, it's hard for us to get this money the way we need to right now because to a certain extent they understand inflation. They've
Yes,
lived through
right.
multiple crashes of the economy, so they see how unfair the system is. And what
Correct.
ends up happening now is they resort to these things where, hey, I could put $100, I could put, you know, $200, even if I'm living in my parents' basement, and possibly make a million. You know, so that's where, you know, people laugh about meme coins in crypto, but they're here to stay. They're a
Yeah.
cultural firm. Look at the Trump coin right now.
I was just about to bring that up.
Look at
Hmm.
Trump coin right now. It's
Listen,
going crazy, you
when
know,
we were
and
talking, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So these are the things that people are seeing that they can actually invest in certain assets and it grows exponentially. Granted, yes, you've got the volatility, but they're willing to accept the volatility because their time horizon is so much longer. They've got, you know, a good 30, 40 years before they retire. So they're willing to take those risks. And the point is, they have to because there's really no other way for them to really grow and build their wealth to that level.
Most definitely. To your point too, I think I was just in my head analyzing it. I feel like the Gen Zs and the millennials and the baby boomers are like the piece of the bread, the sandwich, and then there's the middle part. And I think they both realize, right? They both realize that in the middle is bullshit. So, and excuse my French, right? That meat that was fed before is not sustainable. So they're
Right.
like, we got to take control of our own life and create our own meat. And so they're looking at it like the news is out, information is out, Google's out. So when you research it, everyone sees that we're not going to have Social Security. What? I can't retire. What does that mean? What does that look like? It's not realistic anymore. The truth is out about bank and banking and banking your money in a bank. So you can't lie to them about that anymore. And so, like Ansel said, inflation is real because they're living it, they're seeing it. People who are going food shopping alone in 2 years prior, you used to shop for $100, you used to get a whole refrigerator full. Now you're spending, my client, $400 to $600 for a family of 2 or 3. So you can't lie to this community anymore. So they're saying, let's cut the bullshit and we're going to now make change. We're going to create it our own way. And so this is why the narrative and the meme coins as well as making sense, because even when we think about the politics right now, they're like, what are you going to do for me if I'm going to vote for you? Versus way back when, and I'm not being facetious, but I'm being real. We were told before in our time, because we're all Gen Zs here, Gen X, right? About Gen X. We were like, our ancestors fought for us to vote and they got killed. The narrative is they didn't get killed, they vote. They went out to make a choice and then they got killed. So the narrative of the truth is changing now for the person who's like, I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote because you're going to do something for me.
There you go.
Right.
So it's shifting.
Exactly.
Something tangible, right?
The
So,
tangibles.
yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah.
Receiving something tangible for your vote, and that is very important. Because a lot of times people talk about voting, they really like focus in on the excuse me, the presidential election. But you guys know, you on the ground. We all live in a place. Local voting is very, very, very
For sure.
important, and it could be, I think, more important than the when we
National
talk
election.
about. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so no disrespect. I'm sorry for the curse. Our video will be taken down, but don't worry about that. We
Don't
just keep
listen.
on going.
Don't
We just
listen to
keep
him,
on
Rashona.
going.
He always
That
told me
was
this.
passion. That was passion.
I didn't.
I do. I'm curious though, right? So we're not able to really get our hands on the youth, right? The 21-year-old. That's why when you said that, my eyes perked up like, oh, they get young people. I
Yeah.
do know that we as well have been getting a significant amount of older, especially women, right? We've been getting a lot of older women. We get a lot of emails now, call it fan mail. And I'm curious. So tell me a little bit about when you're onboarding, in a sense, um, a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old. What's some of the sentiment there?
Most of them are interested in gaming crypto coins. That's really because they're into that. So people, it's just like the stock market. The saying is invest in what you already use. So if you buy Apple computers, invest in Apple. If you buy whatever, invest in that. So that's kind of that. I would say that's how the younger ones have gotten. Otherwise, it's like a family member may have been involved, or either they heard. You know what? Sometimes a parent or relative has heard about us or saw us speaking somewhere, and then the parent is not that technologically inclined, but their child is or their nephew is. So then that's another way that people have found us. Otherwise, yeah, again, through speaking engagements. As I think about it, we had Ian Bellina speak at the Brooklyn Children's Museum last year, about a
Awesome.
year ago, and through that, a number of other individuals. Okay, yeah, that event was available and it was free through Eventbrite. So if you follow us, then you'll hear about different free events that we have as well. Yeah, for those.
And I think gaming and technology like the metaverse, like AI, like coding, that's
Yeah.
what the young folks are into. They're about building and being the first to do to mess with the what do you call it? The VR glasses,
Yeah.
any new
Yeah.
technology that comes out, they want in on it.
Yes,
So
Um,
the
definitely.
point is really something that's really more like I'm not. They're not.
What's
It,
that for
it,
Bitcoin?
um,
For
You
Bitcoin, you
know
mean?
what? No,
They're
no, no.
not.
They get no, no, they still get them, but they'll
okay.
because you generally need some of those other assets in order to
Yeah,
whatever else they want. So they'll hold some
Well,
Ethereum, they'll hold some Solana, they'll hold some,
right.
But
They
for
perfect
the
risk.
example.
value of the coin that they actually want, not
Yeah.
necessarily for the value of the Bitcoin or
correct,
Ethereum.
Correct.
correct.
That's
No, but
They're
they
they're
they
risk
want. I
capital.
had a perfect example. I had a client. We were really cool. She's a nurse, and she said to me, "My son is taking my credit card because they want to buy Dogecoin." She's like, "What do I do?" Like, because she knows about the BK crypto group, and I said, "Really? So what did you do?" She's like, "Well, I gave him the card because he spoke highly of it, and he showed me, but he got information from it from watching IG, Instagram, and so watching Instagram stories, he saw people who were making money off of Dogecoin and a lifestyle. So he told her mom, we need to invest in this. So as a mom, I commend her because she didn't shut him down. She said, here's a certain amount you can invest in. And meanwhile, she's savvy, she has money, and she's not investing. Her
Right.
sons are the ones who are 14 and 16 who got her to invest and said, okay, Rashona, sign me up. How can I sign up for BK Crypto? Let me get in. That's how it's happening too. These kids are savvy.
Years.
He's holding Dogecoin. He got in like 2 years ago, and he's making money.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned that because another a friend who I've been trying to get her to, look into crypto because we are not financial advisors, so we don't tell anybody what to do, but we just say, you know what, this, take a look. And a few years later, she told me that, oh, my son's actually invested in crypto, blah, 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 blah. He's made all this money. And I was like, so I was like, are you gonna like consider it now? I just gave him some money and now he invests for me. So you have a lot of people who do that as well because they just don't want to deal with the wallets and the research. And so they'll have their younger children or nephews and nieces do it for them. Yeah.
Funny enough, we've started working with this organization called Table of Kings.
Hmm.
They have some contracts with New York City public schools, so uh, they work there's Table of Kings and Table of Queens. Obviously, one for the young men, one for the young women. So Dylan and I, we've been going into elementary and middle schools in the Bronx and in Queens, just teaching them a little bit about financial literacy, but opening their minds to crypto. Most of them know Bitcoin, but when you start to talk about that GameFi, it's the relatable thing of, hey, we go in there and say, hey, you guys, you play Roblox, you play Fortnite.
Yeah.
What's the currency in those games? What's the digital currency in those games? And they get it right off the bat. Now you're telling them, okay, now here's how you can actually make some real money playing video games. So we give them the platform, and that just totally opens up their eyes and their minds to it. So I think another key is to start at that young age too, just to introduce them to it, because this is their world, right? They've grown up in the digital age. This is all they know. So that's the neat thing that we've seen in doing that kind of work, though, how smart these kids are. We had one kid, one school we went to. This kid broke down the history of money straight up,
Right?
from gold, silver, copper, all of that. He just broke it down. This kid had to be 10 years old. And that's when you realize, again, they soak up so much, but well, when we speak to kind of some of the principals, the staff, things like that, they say all the time, like, these kids need this.
Yes.
The current educational system is not challenging them. It's not meeting them where they are. You've
On
got to bring
purpose.
technology into the classroom. You've got to bring those VR glasses. So instead about reading about ancient Africa, you can put on those glasses and be in the middle of it. That's the difference. It's the interactiveness where you can get them.
So I've been observing things in general. I'm like one of those women where my grandmother used to tell me, as she says, women should be able to read the stars. They should be able to read the planets. They should be able to read their environment and see what's going on. And I've been watching, doing what my grandmother taught me to do. And Nas has a song called I Think They're Scared of Us. It's old, I don't know, a couple years ago. But sentiment rings true, right? We have this generation here, as Rashona was saying earlier, who know the truth, right? All of the rhetoric and the narratives that you used to be able to get
Mm-hmm.
the masses to go along with because
Okay.
we thought that that's what it was. That isn't what it is anymore. So when you talk about the lack in education, that's so like strategic to keep this. We have to keep them down best as we can. Even though they're going through the school system, we still have to run the system the way Henry Ford taught us to run the system, right? You can see that the elites, to me,
Okay.
are in panic mode. They're finding new ways to make their own money. They're finding ways to come out of the system. They're finding ways to, Dr. Neely Fuller talks about 12 areas of activity, babe. I know the nine,
Yes.
but I think
Man,
let's
10.
do the 9 or 10 areas of
Yeah, 10.
activity.
Yeah.
We are finding ways to literally untether ourselves from multiple areas of activity. And I think it scares the crap out of them, right?
You're losing control.
They're losing control. And here in the information age, I call it the exposure age. Whatever the truth actually is, are you noticing how it comes tumbling out all of a sudden? It like
Yeah.
can't remain hidden anymore.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I love that you guys are like physically interacting with whether they're 21 years old or 91 years old. I mean, we want to commend you for your service out there physically. It's hard work, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot of different energies. Rashona can probably speak to this. You're coming into contact with multiple energies all day long, every single day. And it does affect your own energy, right? It does affect your own kind of what you got when you hear the sob stories, when you hear the tragedies, when you hear the good news, right? When you hear like, hey, we had a cousin on here. I want to say it was cousin Tomadon. He was like, "Hey, family, guess what? I went from dollar cost averaging weekly to daily."
Daily, yep.
Simon and I were like,
Step his game,
There
when
you
baby.
we
go.
got off, we were like hugging each other because it's like, wow, that makes a huge difference in that household. So, how you guys feel? Rashana gave us a beautiful story before we were able to get on about how her client was like, "Bless your soul, I'm doing better."
And you know, and for us,
It's
you
the
know,
ripple
that's kind of
effect, man.
like
It's the ripple effect.
yeah, for us, it's kind of we have to look at it a different way because we chose to move our children to another country, right? So that they can have a better upbringing. But conversely, we miss being able to have boots on the ground and actually be able to get our hands on people as well. So it's great that we can link up with people who are boots on the ground, just and hear these stories and see if we can be a part of this boots on the ground. I don't know if I can make it to Brooklyn. She said I wouldn't make it in New York. But I'll send her. Since she's a New Yorker, and she's from Queens, Left Rack City, y'all.
Y'all just
And
stop it.
she can't.
Left. Funny.
Cousins, I want to introduce you to your cousin Jake. This is Jake Fever, who
Yeah.
wanted to, I hope it's okay that he can join the round table, kind of talk about some things. He felt
Mr.
the
Fever.
need. He never, ever hopped on with us, but he wants to hop on with
Hey,
y'all.
Jake.
No, I
Figure
see
out
y'all.
oh,
How y'all
and
doing?
Jake Fever just had
What's up,
a
my
baby.
boy?
That's our Bitcoin baby. So congratulations again. Our
Aw.
Bitcoin
Oh, thank you,
baby.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I just put her to
I've been
sleep, so
hanging
I was like, I seen y'all
his
on,
name
so
for
I
a long
wanted.
time. Fever. Everywhere.
Cousin Jake. Mm-hmm. He our favorite.
How
He
y'all
one of our
doing?
favorite cousins.
Good.
Yeah,
Good, good.
I'm excited about being in the crypto space itself, and I seen y'all talking about like how y'all gonna implement stuff and be a part of the crypto world, like and just instead of just buying Bitcoin and holding it, like you want to be a part of it. So I just wanted to jump on and ask questions in the conversation. I just popped on. I just put the baby to sleep, and I was like, let me jump on.
Okay, okay.
Definitely.
Now y'all
Listen,
know if y'all inspire cousin Jake to come on, y'all doing big things there, right?
exactly, exactly. I
All
think
right,
the
cousin
biggest
Jake,
thing,
what
I
you want
think the
to ask
biggest
them?
thing, Jake, is to say we got to start chasing value. When you chase
Yes,
value, the money will
Ashe.
come,
Yes.
right? And that's the part that our people really need to understand. We got to chase
Yes,
value.
yes,
Chase value. Don't chase money. When you chase value, money will always come. You know.
Oh my God, 100% well said. I mean, just the fact that collectively we are coming together now with the Simon family, who again, you might not be on the ground, right? But again, as above, so below, right? And so we might be below, but you on top, and that synergy, Aaron and Mr. Simon, is bringing us together because we need to incorporate this conversation. Okay, COVID maybe did some things, but COVID did something amazing. It created an outlet of Zoom. They can't stop us. So this conversation that we have, and even Jake with the energy was flowing, said, you know what, let me jump on because now we're spreading. And it's a ripple effect because we, like you said, it's no longer about that money. The money's gonna come. But what God is saying right now is that we need to come together. We need to come cohesively with a mission to make change. That's what this is about. So whether it's coming together buying that land, whether it's coming together be like, okay, Simon family, what you building in Mexico? Let's help you over there. Let's plant some seeds in Brooklyn, let's plant some seeds in Maryland. Where you at, Jake? Where you staying at? That's what's happening right now. And everyone can't come along.
But not everyone wants to either. I do quickly want
Correct.
to shout out one more cousin. DP Carib had mentioned earlier in the chat that they're hosting workshops at local universities. Meme coins are a no go for the audience, and the institutions prefer blockchain tech courses. But the fact that DP Carib, I guess Caribbean, is hosting workshops and also doing physical networking, physical social networking, we just wanted to shout you out and say thank you for the service you're doing with boots on the ground. Thank you so much, cousin. So they were flow when you were talking and talking about all the great things you guys were doing. They wanted to say we're doing local workshops as well.
Yep.
So I did want
Awesome.
to shout
Awesome.
their cousin out for their service and the work that they do.
Yeah, what we found is, and much respect to you, DP Carib. What we found is when you talk across the spectrum, the different age, the different demographics, what ends up happening is you got to end up we have to end up meeting people where they are, right? Some people might say, "Hey, I'm my investment palette, I'm high risk." Somebody else might be middle risk, somebody else might be low risk. And there's something in here for everybody. That's the beauty of this space, right? Because again, there I know some people that just invest in meme coins. Me personally, I wouldn't do that. My portfolio allocation is going to be a little bit different. But I get it. I get it. I totally get it because hey, that's like your lottery ticket, and it's actually probably a better bet than a lottery ticket on top of that.
That's
So,
right.
and that's where we got to understand it's here to stay. And honestly, you got to look at the wallets of these institutions. Right now, CoinGecko shows all the wallets of all the big time venture capitalists in the space, like Andreessen Horowitz. Says, go take a look at their wallets. You would realize a lot of those coins you probably never even heard of. And they've got hundreds of billions of dollars in them, right? On their level, a 10x for them, if I got 100 billion, a 10x for me is what? A billion. But for somebody else, getting a 10x and I've got $10, that's only $100. So they've got the money to make those changes. The average person, or the local kid on the block, hey, he might not have a lot to invest in, but hey, let's make sure we get you some Bitcoin. But yeah, if you're a high risk rider, hey, we can push you towards, hey, we can suggest this meme, this meme, this meme. This might be a little bit safe. So we structure your portfolio in a way that it's all encompassing with the understanding that you want to take risk. So you always have to meet people where they are in it with investing.
100%. I want to chime into that. I was listening to Modern Investor today, and I love Modern Investor because he's like people, even with his friends. Y'all still don't get it. This is real. You don't understand that the market is changing, that investing in Bitcoin. He said it. $2.7 billion have been purchased in Bitcoin from major banks all over the country. And the reason why you're not hearing the major news is because, for one, they own the media. Why would
Yes.
they tell you what's really happening behind the scenes? The other thing is that they're going over OTC, right, over the counter, which means it's not going to play a numeral effect on the movement of Bitcoin. So while we're going to nay and nah, I say this: stop watching, stop hearing, and start really moving with the divine, your third eye. Because if you really start seeing, like Aaron said about women and even men collectively, there's something that is shifting. And your monetary system right now, I was with a healer. Shout out to Hank, Rising Sun. He literally was saying that because he does a lot of magnets and pyramids to help with the, moving the energy. He said he orders a product in India. He said his dollars are not the same.
They not the
So if
same
he
people.
spent $300 for a product for maybe some gold or some metal, he's saying that he spent from $300 to $1,000. Maybe you might not be going through it, but that's not, it means it's not going to affect you. If you're hearing it's happening, it is happening. Our dollars are being devalued. First time in history. This
All
is
over the
real,
world.
people.
This is real. It is real.
All over the world.
Let me ask you guys a question and see what you come up against it. And this is something that it kind of gets on my nerves, but you got to deal with it. And that's the people who come in this space. I call them Johnny Come Latelys.
Yeah, I ain't gonna rant.
Yeah, they're going with these MLMs, and they got all these crazy schemes of how they're bringing Bitcoin to
I
people.
get it.
And then so when who are naturally bringing Bitcoin to them, they like, nah, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. And they messing up the game, right? Because we trying to bring it to you naturally, the real, and tell you what it really is. And they don't want to hear about it because maybe they didn't get scammed or they got into some MLM that it didn't work out. And just, it's like they're making it look bad when you even start talking about Bitcoin. You got to kind of bring them back around like, well, it's not what they were talking about. We're talking about this naturally and how I can help you
And what it
embrace it.
actually is.
Yeah, do you guys come up against that with the coming out here?
Listen,
Yeah, I
let me
do.
just let me go preach. I've been in MLMs. Listen, I'm a high roller risk player. My team will tell you. Okay. But my spidey sense know it's game, but I'm taking the risk. And I'm gonna tell you, if anyone is telling you, because what happens is you get greedy and you get sold on, I can't get in the market because 70,000, but they're gonna help me accumulate it quicker. Let me tell you, if you don't hold your own wallet, if you don't hold your own keys, if you're not going to Coinbase, Gemini, or any of these type of exchanges, it's a scam. No one's going to do it for you but you. I guarantee you. If they're telling you, let's convert our money and you're getting a piece of this because you're mining, more than likely, if you don't have access to your keys or access to the wallet, you're going to get a rug pull. It's going to be taken from you. Trust me. I've been through it years of playing, but again, I had a certain amount that I was willing to risk, and I knew it was. So let us, and I say BK Crypto, I say literally, let us teach you and guide you to owning your own wealth, creating your own wealth, and buying your own coins. So that there's no rug pull. It's you having your own bank account like Chase or a TD Bank, and you have your own savings account number and your password. That's the only way that is safe. And when I say safe, I mean safe because you control it and you own it and you have your keys. That's what I mean.
Yeah, my hardest part is actually getting people to change their value system because they can't fathom, because like you said, it feels like a scam because they're printing so much money that it moves up in dollar value so fast that it just feels wrong. And they have to adjust their whole value system to actually understand that Bitcoin is repricing everything. It's not
Right.
going up in dollar value. Everything is
Exactly.
being repriced in
And
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
And that's my hardest step because people only knew this their whole life. And the people that actually have money is 40, 50 years old to actually put it in here. And they gonna think about, man, I done been through so much stuff. Cutco knives, MLMs, insurance stuff, everything, bro. Like, and I can't get people to get past that value system change because they won't do the homework themselves. And half of them didn't do homework in school, so they
Right.
definitely want to do it now.
That
So
point.
so that value is so hard. So I got this picture that I show, like in 2016, it took like 667 Bitcoin to buy a house. Then it took
Boom.
like 60 or something in 2020. Now it takes six,
Exactly.
and I put that in front of them and say, look, and they say, oh yeah, it went up, but they're not seeing that it was 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, and they went from 660 to 6. Next year is going to be point 0.6. You know,
They,
But I
when
like
I
the
see,
way that cousin Jake kind of
Okay.
put it in context for them. I mean, I that's fantastic.
Yeah.
With the this is how many Bitcoin
Right.
it took for you to buy a house here, and look how much less you need in order to buy a house now to understand the value of it and the driving up in value.
And like I like to always say, I believe it was 2011. You might have to fact check me on that. But there was a time where there was parity between
Yes.
Bitcoin and the dollar.
Mhm.
One Bitcoin was equal to $1.
Mhm.
And then when you see how much it moved against it, right? If you just overlay the charts, people don't understand. Oh, they think the numbers is going up. No, it's going up as your dollar
It's
is
going
going down.
down.
And
Yeah.
show people that because there's still time. Everybody's like, nah, I'm too late. I'm too late. Yeah, no,
It's
you're
the
never too late. You're never too
comparisons
late.
that I feel like a lot of people, and obviously Jay can attest to
Mm-hmm.
this, that they're not understanding. They're so used to doing everything in dollars that it's difficult for them to see it or have it reframed in Bitcoin and understanding the decline of their dollars. Another thing is, so many people, Rashona brought the fact up a little bit earlier, so many people are unaware of the fact that the BRICS nation has countries all over the world not utilizing the US dollar for payment settlement,
Mhm.
meaning those dollars are not being used and they're coming back to US shores
Yeah.
worthless, and they're missing that. They're not understanding that. They're not interested in that. I don't know what the breakdown is, but they just feel like in the digital world there is no geographical boundary. I think they're missing that too. Like she was saying earlier, you feel like because that's happening in India, what that got to do with me in Cincinnati, and it's like everything, everything.
And to be honest, like we always say that we are forex trading in real life.
Yeah,
We, because the dollar's been getting beat down against the Mexican peso, and there's apparently some kind of super peso coming along, and we're going to do a show on that.
developing.
Uh, we've had to alter our, I say how you would say, our trading as far as holding a lot of Mexican pesos.
Yep.
So we are now at the point where we're turning our U.S. dollars in the Mexican pesos because that's a
Would it
better
come?
value right there. Then that's not
Did
what I
you
really.
think you would see the
Yeah,
day?
I know, right?
you
But
gotta,
that
What?
yeah, you gotta be ready for whatever's gonna happen.
What dimension
Exactly.
did I wake up in where
So
we are
So
yeah,
buying?
patient.
yeah,
that's
we
how I
both.
think. That's how I think you bring people in. You've got to focus on what they focus on, right? As you were talking about, Jake, that picture that you showed them.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't focus on the Bitcoin price going up. Focus on the value of the dollar being going down, right? I think people will understand that more when they see that. So for us to sit here and say, hey, these people print money all the time, which devalues our purchasing power. It's a hard concept for people to grasp. But once you start to show them, hey, this is how your currency is constantly being devalued, the fact that if you are not getting an 8% raise, because the last few years inflation was on average of 8% per year. So if you haven't been getting an 8% raise every single year, guess what? You're falling
You're
behind.
losing,
You're
you're
losing
losing money
money. So
every
people
day.
understand that context more than talk about the Bitcoin of, hey, it's going from here to here. They understand the concept of, hey, I'm in dollars and I'm losing purchasing power. I'm losing money. If I'm going to the, you go to the grocery store, as Rashona was talking about earlier, $100 pre-COVID versus $100 in groceries now, that's an actual real difference they can understand and see. Because too much times people think, oh, well, things are just getting too expensive. No, you're losing your purchasing
Thank
power.
you,
That's what's
thank you,
happening due to the inflation
thank you.
of the dollar.
But the people who need to
But
know
that
is
like concept is hard to get sometimes for most people.
Yeah.
go ahead, Dylan. I'm sorry.
And I'm just saying that concept sometimes is kind of hard for them to understand, but they really are losing money every year, literally, right? But they're not seeing it. I don't shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Good.
should.
and I was gonna circle around on his when he said if you're getting an 8% raise, right? So we go back to we go back to the Michael Saylor who says he actually believes it's 20 to
Yeah, I think
25%.
that's good.
But they
Exactly.
give us that number, and so
Exactly.
if we took them at that, who's getting a 20% raise a year?
Nobody.
Right. So every
Exactly.
year
Not
you're falling
even me.
behind,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know the prices out there, but I know that they're inflating stuff in Mexico. You go to the store, this stuff was,
Yeah.
and then I always tell people when you see inflation on products, do percentages, right? If you see,
Exactly.
you go here, it costs 30 pesos for us, and then I see now it's 45 pesos.
That's a
You're like, well, that's just
huge
extra 15
increase.
pesos. Well, how much of an increase is it,
Too much.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 50%
More
increase.
than is it more? Yes,
Exactly.
50%. The
That's
Yeah,
donut. He's
yeah.
talking about the donuts, y'all.
Yeah, they like to buy
yeah.
donuts. I won't buy them anymore because they went up 50%. It don't matter about the 15
Exactly.
pesos. It's about the 15,
Exactly.
about the 50% increase, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. You
Exactly.
cannot get anything better, not get anything bigger.
More value, nothing. There's nothing extra. But I
You're
want
just
to tell the
charging you
cousins a
more.
funny story about y'all little cousin Sean. So Sean comes to his dad 2 days ago,
Oh,
and he's
Sean.
like, "Dad, I got like 200 and something dollars, right, in actual physical cash." And so I was like, "Where you get that from?" He said, "When Grandma was here, she put something in my hand. She's the grandmother. You know, West Indian grandmothers, they're gonna just
Hmm.
stick something in your hand."
Take it
He's
out the
like,
bra.
"It's just sitting on my dresser, eating away, dying away. And what I want to do is I want to give it to you so that what did he want? Silver?"
He wants to buy some
All right.
silver.
Simon was like, "So you're giving it to me, and I'm going to buy the silver for you, and I'm now holding the dollars." He said, "Yeah, Dad, you can take that hit."
Oh, you take that hit, yo. You funny. You can take that hit.
Right?
No
That's
good.
all
At
I'm saying.
least
He
he
was like,
knows
"Yeah,
the
you can take
value.
that hit, but I don't want to be sitting in these dollars."
Exactly. I
You
love
want
it.
$2.
Hold in the bag. Okay.
I
Oh
mean,
Yes.
for
no.
Mexico, I'm gonna do
You're
$2.
Oh
doing something
my
right.
God.
Your work
But
is rubbing off, family. Your work is rubbing
that
off, cousins.
that
Okay.
is when teaching goes wrong, right? That's when the student is now greater than the teacher.
Yep. Hmm. Well, back home, you're like, nah, you can handle that. That shit is funny. That's crazy.
That's y'all little cousin. Y'all come get him.
Yeah,
Talking about, "Dad, you can take the hit."
Oh man, I love it,
Type it up,
man.
"Dad, you can take this hit, but
I
I
don't
need
get.
you to give me that silver."
And this is when
Exactly.
tell them how worthless the dollar is. I can't do anything.
Right.
I can't do nothing with these dollars. Like,
I'm gonna
man,
take those
Hmm.
dollars and buy some pesos, so don't worry about it. I mean, we'll
Hmm.
take a little loss, but at least we'll have pesos.
yeah, but he still
Yeah.
got the best.
That was hilarious. I said,
Still
when
got the best.
teaching, the right thing goes wrong.
Goes wrong.
Listen, no, it's so perfect because again, it's a story. Well, he's basically saying store value. I get it. Like when it finally clicks, if a 16-year-old it can click, an 8-year-old, 10-year click, my beautiful adult people, it gotta click. A store of value. Your dollars gotta be put in something. I tell my clients because I'm a financial counselor by the day. I said, if your dollars is not going somewhere where it's growing, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, where is it growing? And a lot of times, like you said, Jake, they're not getting it because they're so used to just spending, Jake. They're so used to
Yes.
spending and having the bank being responsible and thinking that this is the norm. That's why
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
That's
the
why.
norm anymore.
Y'all, you
right
guys have
now,
been
I
scared,
also
Jake.
think it's
yeah,
good.
right now, what I'm doing is like working in crypto. I was trying to work on people, but right now I'm looking for spaces like when they invented the car, there was no billboards and signs and stuff up. So I'm trying to be one of those people that do something different in crypto because I
Right.
know
Right.
I'm gonna be all right. And then I maybe can hire some of these people that don't listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And
You're
I
right.
I could do the billboards or signs on the road or something like that. That's what I'm trying to figure out my space in the crypto world.
I
Because
love it.
besides dollar cost averaging and just collecting Bitcoin, I want to be a part of it. But I do think I can feel too, you know. So it don't matter to me either way. But I do want to still be a part of it and talk about what I'm doing in the crypto world. But it's just hard to get people past that value, especially with something new that they don't understand. Show
Hold
them
on.
that value is so hard.
But also because the like media has been giving it like this like bad rep for so many years. It's stuck in their minds. So we have to like unchain that because they've been hearing all this news for so many years. You know.
Yeah. They
You
don't
guys
know
have
that
been so inspirational. There are 58 people in the live right now,
Hey,
just listening to how incredible work you guys have been doing, the things we've been up against. And Simon and I, we got class for that. 58 people on the live. What's
Mm.
today? Wednesday, middle of the week.
middle of the
So,
week, midweek.
we
But
got to
I'll say this much, Aaron, right? Can I say something? Like, I'll say this much. I think that educating our children is how you shift it, like for like generations, right? The older folks are gonna listen. Some might want some more, but when you tackle the kids, it changes everything in the years to come. It has a more lasting effect because the kids get it much faster because they're living in that world already with the whole V-Bucks and stuff like that, right? So I think focusing on the kids for some people is gonna make a much bigger impact in the long term. I
agree.
definitely think so.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
because
that
our
made
people are
us
crazy. Go ahead.
that made us feel so good when I mean it was hilarious that we're gonna take the hit, but just him understanding like, Dad, my money is just sitting on the dresser. It's just
Sure
eating
is.
away. It's eating away. It's eating
Exactly.
away. I don't know what to do.
So I'll give it to you.
Who did we lose? I know, so I'll give it to you.
Thanks.
It was it was
And
We
Stell.
just lost
Stell.
Ansel. Okay.
Oh,
Yes, I want to say this has been amazing. I do have to go listen. I listen for me. I'm like I don't even want to leave, but I do have an obligation to a client that made booked at 8 o'clock. And so y'all my family, y'all my soul family, y'all cousins. Jake, is a pleasure to finally meet you. I love what we're doing. I love that y'all on top and we on the bottom. And I say as above, so below. This is divine. So let's continue to integrate, to motivate, to elevate, and to really just hone on those who really want to be part of this community. We are here for you. We are all here for you. So just be open. I listened to a gentleman talking about wealth and building. He said, "I'm going to ask you guys a question. What's better, open mindset or a skill set?"
Open mindset.
Yeah, mine.
Right. Because that open mindset will allow you to always build a skill set. And my son
Always.
answered that question to that. And I said it to y'all. Keep an open mind. That's how we got here. I guarantee it's going to work out. That's all I want to say. Peace, love, and light. Love y'all family.
Bye.
right. Thank you
Bye,
for
All right.
being with
sweetheart.
us. We really appreciate it.
All right, we still got some cousins on. We're going to keep the party jumping.
Yeah.
Guys, it was
I
great.
do want to shout one more cousin out who's probably not here, but we have a cousin Ryan, right? That's Kimberly's son. And Ryan is an incredible young gentleman. He does media, he does a lot of entrepreneurial, I would say, endeavors. And I did want to just shout him out on the show in case anybody needs any type of multimedia work done.
Yeah.
Just let us know, and I'll get Ryan in touch with you guys. Is he even home?
he's not. He's not. Actually, Ryan's my bonus son. Technically, he is my good friend, one of my best friends' cousins, actually. But he lives with me. Yeah. So yeah, it's funny. I've known his family longer than I've known him. Like, so I say before he was alive. You know what I mean? And so I'm one of those other aunties who became a bonus mom. And so I am, funny enough, and with Ryan being here, I've become the bonus mom to many young men. It's quite interesting. So now they call me and like, Auntie Kim, can we talk? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I do these consultations with the
And
young men.
that's funny that you say that because that's even more that you spread out to the community. Is this
Mm-hmm.
mentoring these young men and
Yeah,
yeah, they need somebody to talk to. And people sometimes
exactly,
they need
exactly.
somebody to talk to. Like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? So that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Mhm,
Like I said,
mhm, mhm.
I
That's
miss
why I
out.
said it's that village we always talk about, right?
Yeah, I miss out on being on that physical village. I do miss
Yeah.
that. And maybe circle back around and do that thing again anyway. But
Yeah.
it's beautiful to see you guys doing it and the way you do it in the community in Brooklyn. So you guys, have meant to ask you because of the BK Crypto. You guys have like a site or a place you meet up or like an office or anything? or is
You
it
know
just
what? Sometimes, okay, in the early days, we used to meet up at a Black-owned co-working space in Crown Heights, and that closed. And we tried a couple other co-working spaces, and they were just much further, and we were just like, yeah, no. And around that time, we started going online.
mm,
So from time to time, we will meet up at like a cafe or something like that, or heck, in my yard, or in the park, things like that. As a matter of fact, the people have been asking for another meetup soon. But yeah, we don't have regular, because we meet up every month, but now it's mostly virtual, unless
mm,
we have an event that calls for us to be in person, like, Ian Bellina or something like that. Yeah,
okay.
it's virtual now.
So,
Yeah.
If the cousins, there's 64 cousins in the room right now, in the drop down, if you guys want to tap into this energy and help BK Crypto, the cousins that you heard talking today, if you want to support them in any way, they do have a website where they sell Bitcoin swag, altcoin swag. They got all the drip, all the sauce. By
Yeah.
purchasing their inventory, that is helping them do what they do best in Brooklyn, and that is pounding the pavement, helping each individual that comes to them become more financially secure. And we all know that the Bitcoin centric vibe is independence.
yeah.
It's helping them untether themselves from an area of activity in order to live a more independent life. So if you want to support them, you can go right down in the drop down and peruse the website, see what type of outfits fit be fly that you want to walk around in. This is the time to do it with Bitcoin kind of trying to get back to that all-time high. And it's a great way to help contribute and tap in and collectively help them get the word out, get the education out, and really change people's lives.
That's dope. What's up, cousin Jake? What you got, man?
Where my
Man, I just tell people, man, try to get to one Bitcoin if you haven't already, because then you can get to two. So you just got to keep working on that, because you're gonna become a legend. I promise. In 10 years, if you get to that, at least that one, you're gonna become a legend. But once you get that one, it's easier to figure out ways to get that second one, then that third. Then you just work on it. Especially this run is gonna be epic. I believe the most money in the world is coming in this run right here. If countries don't print money this time, then it'll be the 2029 run that the countries will start printing their own money and putting it into Bitcoin. But this time we got the most we got 900 trillion dollars that's able to put money into this thing. The next step is countries printing money to put it into it. So I mean, if you
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna run this time, you are crazy. This thing is gonna go crazy. So you better scrape, get another job, do whatever you can to get to at least one Bitcoin, because it's gonna go crazy. And then you take some lifestyle points out, or you take some stuff out and you put it away to buy some more during the dip. It's just that easy, and that's how you get to one Bitcoin, or get to more Bitcoin, or get to whatever you need. So it's coming, man. The writing is on the wall. They already show hundreds and hundreds of companies that's already putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet as their treasury.
Yep.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And
That's
Husky always says this great thing. He
Right.
says, if you can't make more money, spend less money, right? Say, I'm not going to do 5 Starbucks coffees
Man.
this week,
this
right?
week.
I'll do one. And then with
Exactly.
that extra, I'm going to dollar cost average my
Yeah.
way in. I'm not going to do whatever your creature comfort is, Little Debbie oatmeal cream pies anymore. I don't know. You pick it. But, if
Kinder
you can't
eggs.
make more
Kinder eggs.
money,
My
guess
oldest
what?
daughter just brought them things.
We're invested in Kinder eggs. Apparently, I have to buy one every day.
Yeah.
But for Santino, but definitely spend less if you don't have time for a hustle or the energy. That's where we're at now. I don't have the energy for anything new on my plate.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Well, I want
Because
to tell you, there's no excuse. You got to have energy right now. Between the next 12 to 16 months,
Got it.
it's gonna be a time frame where it's like 2 to 4 months that Bitcoin just go crazy, and it
Yep.
happened every cycle. Like
yeah,
it happened in
fall.
2017 between October to December. It went from 5,000 to 20,000, and it
Yeah.
happened last time between January of 2021 to March of 2021. It went from like 25K to 65K. It's going to be a time frame within this next year to 16 months that it's going to go crazy like that, and you don't know when it'll be. It might be next month, it might be 10 months from now, but it's going to happen. It happens every cycle where it goes crazy. So you need to put all the energy in right now.
Yeah.
Find some energy, get an energy drink, do
I
something.
got the economic energy. I don't have physical energy.
It's gonna give you
I'm
the
gonna
energy
go
you put
stand
in now. It's
right
gonna.
across my husband.
She gonna go to bed. We 2 hours behind, and she gonna go to bed anyway.
I'm doing some
Yeah,
response. Give me a break. I done gave you 4 human beings. I deserve some rest on the back end.
amen. The baby jumped up, and I appreciate y'all for letting me in. I'm gonna jump off though. I appreciate y'all.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. Thanks for
Bye, cousin Jake. It was great seeing
Bye,
you,
Thanks a
Jake.
lot. See you,
baby.
man.
Tell Miss hi.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
As he was saying, for those who aren't aware, if you're new to crypto, understand that the ETFs have come. Bitcoin ETF, and those are spot ETFs. They're not paper as in the past. They're spot. Bitcoin is required for those ETFs. And then now the ETFs just got approved, right? And so those will probably be put into place. I don't know, it could be a few months, a few weeks, few months, something like that. But when all of that's in place, what's next? Is it going to be Link? Is it going to be what? What's it going to be? It's going to be something. So people need to get familiar with crypto news. I always say go to Crypto Panic, start watching crypto news, come to Assets and Arbitrage, go to, find whoever is online who's speaking to you, and watch them and gain that content and understand that this is what's going on, because all those major institutions were buying years ago. They were buying, Chase was buying in 2013, but they were telling you don't buy anything. They're
Exactly.
telling you it's, it's just like, come on, people, to find out what they're doing, not what they're saying, and act accordingly. Right?
Agreed. I would like for you guys to tell the audience, there's about 62 people in the room right now, where they can get your content.
Okay. Our content. Okay. Well, our website is bkcryptocoach.com. The apparel site is bk-crypto.com. But you can access both websites from either one. So BK Crypto Coach is easy to remember. And then we're on social media, but we're more one-on-one. Yeah, exactly. We do a lot of in person when we arrange those things. But if you follow us on it, if you go to the website and just put your email in, then we will send you contact information about any event that's going on, free or otherwise. We do something every month. Every month we do something. So just follow us and we will let you know what's going on. We're not so good with the social media. Sorry. We're trying
We're getting there eventually. We're getting there in time. But definitely, like it says, unbank yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
What about your Sunday show? Is it every Sunday?
Oh, yeah. It's every Sunday. We have a show called Echo that we were doing it around 11ish, and now we're doing it at 12 a.m. on Sunday. That's the girls' show, actually. And where we're talking to various people in not just crypto, but technology, women who are just doing things in technology, crypto, finance, that sort of thing. And so we're just having conversations, and it's really kind of fun. And we really enjoy. We're happy that we started doing that some time ago. And then the gentleman actually, we have a comprehensive show called Bitcoin and Blessings, which is Sunday evenings, and we do that with Stacks. If you know Stack,
They know cousins.
yeah. And some of them have been traveling a bit as of late, so we haven't had a show in a couple of weeks. But generally, it's every Sunday evening at around 7. Dylan, is it around 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's Bitcoin and Blessings. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I wasn't
Yeah.
familiar with that one, so now I'm
Mm-mm.
definitely have to be on top of that.
Yeah.
we have that. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's a
so you
different
said
perspective.
you got the sleeveless hoodie coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
I know. I know. You talked to us about that, and I'm trying to find your sleeveless hoodie so we can do that for you.
Thought that was a thing all over. I just maybe that's
Well,
just
Yeah.
something. I
it's
don't
new
know.
trend now. New trend probably. Sleeveless
Yeah.
hoodies.
So
Yeah.
and
But
I hate to be too picky, but a
too
sleeveless
picky.
hoodie, and could it be dry fit?
It's hot here.
Oh yeah, you want dry fit.
I
That's,
can imagine.
I know I'm asking a lot, but
We can have
Look,
like you
look.
got.
What size do you want that to be?
extra large, extra large.
Yeah.
That
In a heather gray, not regular
yeah,
Oh,
gray,
yeah,
right?
here we go.
Okay,
Nothing but the
that's a color.
scarlet, not blood red, you know.
that's good.
I gotta deal with y'all. Pray for me.
Hey, you got to put out there what you want. That way, we know what to, what to provide the people. So,
So we
okay.
have a cousin named Nerd Up Inc. who said he's definitely gonna tune in. He's been with us for a long time. We're definitely trying to get you guys the crossover. I want to join one of the echoes, or hopefully with cousin Stack would love to have us back on, right? And we
Yeah,
can do the mashup and see 60, 70 people in your room.
yeah,
So you
that would
guys
be
deserve
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
You got physical down. Now you got to get your digital family together. We have our
And
digital family together. We are struggling with the physical family, honey. Let me
isn't
tell
that
you, right?
something? Isn't that
Yeah.
something? It's hard to
So
get it
they
together.
don't want to be our primos.
Yeah,
So
they be looking around.
Primo.
I
It's
don't want
really
them, right?
Okay, we're
So
trying.
I
we
don't take it.
gotta.
We don't take it
This
personal.
was good though. Hmm?
good. Yeah, this is, I like it a lot. The energy is good. I like it a lot. So, and I
Yeah,
think also just the fact that our people are getting part. Like, I think this is like a time when it's like the Roaring Twenties again. Like, it's like this renaissance of technology, like AI, crypto. And I think we gotta take advantage of this because this is too big for us not to be a part of. It's too big. It's too big, you know.
Yeah,
I'm worried that it's the Roaring Twenties right before the 30s,
Well,
because
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what
Well,
that is.
yeah, yeah. That's
oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
sad.
It is going
I
to
agree
happen,
with you,
and
Well,
that's
man.
my
I'm
concern.
saying if you're smart and you're aware of what's going to happen, you take advantage of this opportunity. You don't have to be in that situation when 2030 or 2031 comes around, right?
Yeah, but you
You
don't
have to
want to
take
look
your
at
profits.
that either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm,
exactly.
mhm.
Smart
You have
about
to
it.
take your profits. Don't be greedy. Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
worried.
don't be greedy.
We like right
Mhm.
on target for that.
yeah.
That economic winter.
Girl ain't
So,
done. I don't
cousins in the chat, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. This was an incredible show with incredible
Yes, it
people,
was.
incredible bit centric vibe, great conversation, great things for us to be aware of. Girl Dee Dee said, "Take the profits, y'all.
Take the
Don't
profit.
ever forget to take a profit."
It's
She's right.
profits, it's profit. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Dee
thank you guys for joining, for tuning in. It's the hour and 22-minute mark. There's
Yes, it
65 people in the room. We
good.
absolutely love, and just as servicemen, doesn't matter what type of service. This just happens to be military service. We want to thank you for your service,
Yes, indeed.
right?
Yeah.
That's your economic energy. It's your physical energy. It is your spiritual energy that you are pouring into the people in New York City. And like I said, I'm from New York, and it has outside of New York, even inside New York, we have a unwelcoming, we don't care, right? Stuff's mad far, it's dumb far. We're not doing that. I'm gonna lose my parking space if I try to help this lady down the street. And that's not the case, right? There's a lot of compassion and empathy and passion that's going into the people in New York. You guys are dealing with a significant amount of migrant population.
That's true.
So that's a whole onboarding process in itself, right? Because you're not talking to people where these are the I want to say like the privileges or the things that you're able to do. Just open a bank account. You have to
Right.
do something different in order to open a bank account.
Yeah.
Them understanding the dollar conversion from wherever they came from. They
Mhm.
think them dollars are gold. They have no idea.
I
No
know.
idea what they're saying, right? Like
Yeah,
you can't stay
So,
you at baby girl.
Mhm, 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 mhm.
So, we want to thank you for all of the work that you're putting in. And for Jake to hop on, I mean,
That
that's
was that
incredible
was sweet.
energy. That's our cousin. We love him.
Yeah.
I've
Crazy.
heard his name for like a long time. I never saw him. First time seeing him, I'm like, okay, that's
I
what's up.
see the name exactly.
Our cousin come on every now and then. But the fact he was like, Aaron, I want the link. I want to hop on. I said, yeah. And he was just sitting there just
Yeah.
eating up that vibe and that's incredible. And we thank you so much. Hi, Crip Work. You must have snuck in the room on me, sweetheart. But everybody was absolutely loving the content today. Again, it was almost 70 people in the room listening to what you guys have to say and very interested in what it is that you're doing. So keep that momentum up. And we're definitely going to have you guys back on the show
Yeah, we'll
again.
definitely run it back, if they say. We'll run it back.
Thank
When you
you.
have the
Thank
Scarlet
you.
and Heather Gray, Dry
Uh,
Fit, put
Yeah,
with the dimensions, right?
Got you. We got you. We're gonna pull that together. You have to tell us which art you'd like on it, and we'll work it
Oh,
out.
see, that's the funny thing. He's gonna be indifferent about that, right? Just something Bitcoin centric.
yeah.
Okay, okay, that's all
Sky
good.
High said that they are tuning in from Philly.
Oh,
Philly,
hey, hey, right down the road.
I think
still in
Durda
the house. That's
from
what's
New
up.
Jersey.
Okay, so
T.
that.
Will Line is from St. Louis. Let Freedom Ring. I don't know where you're at. Crip Work. I can't remember what city you're in. We have a lot of different cities on here.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Um, Cousin Jake's in Tampa. I don't know if we mentioned that during the show or if he mentioned that.
He down south, brother. Old school down
Will
south.
Hobdy said, awesome show today, cousins.
Yeah.
OC Benji said, fire, fire. OC Benji gets on as often as he can. He gets so upset when he misses the show. Cousin Mo was on. So, Alexandra Folkard, I think she's one of your
Yeah,
fans,
it's purple.
was very happy with the show today. DP Karib, we talked about. I just like, acknowledging the cousins.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Shango gonna marry
Good work.
Rashona.
Yeah, I'm
Cousin Shango gonna marry Rashona. We gonna
Shango.
come to the wedding too.
She ready.
No, right? So we are going to let you guys know. We're gonna let you know. We're gonna let you go. We thank you so much for your time
It was a
again. We
pleasure. It
appreciate
was
your
lovely being
service.
here.
This was so much fun. Thank
It
you so much.
was.
Thank
Well,
you
we
so
look forward to the next
Thank you,
time.
people.
Stephanie.
Sis.
You guys.
Didi. Thank you, Didi.
All right. Mamba.